it is about 57 degrees, and it is obviously, as you can tell, kind of windy. But today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I believe it's important to get enough exercise when you eat a high carbohydrate diet. The reason why I say that is that when you walk or exercise otherwise, it helps drive the sugar in your blood into other cells better. You don't have as much of an insulin response if you get the exercise after your meals, before your meals. It helps a lot, especially after larger meals, to get some exercise afterwards. So that's part of, if I wasn't going to be very active, I would not probably have as high a carbohydrate diet. And it's not super high, but it's often 50-60% of my calories in a day. Sometimes it's gets into the 40s% of my calories, but it gives me energy to do what I need to do. I never did have that until I started to have a lower fat, as under 30%, not super low fat diet, and I had a moderate amount of protein. That's what works for me, gives me the energy, helps me do well in the gym as long as I don't eat too under-calorie too much, and I do well. So it's very important to be able to burn off some of those carbohydrates by exercising. And also keep in mind that not every carbohydrate has the same response. And I'm talking about pure carbohydrate, or close to pure carbohydrate. I'm not talking about things that people call carbs that really have a lot of fat in them and things like that. I'm not talking about pastries, junk food, French fries, potato chips. Things like that are junk food. They're not the whole food carbohydrates of what I'm talking about. But keep in mind that most of them have a combination of glucose and sucrose. And glucose and fructose. Pardon me, sucrose is half glucose, half fructose. And so glucose has an insulin response, whereas fructose is processed in the liver. So if you're eating table sugar, half of it has an insulin response and half of it is going to be processed in the liver, and the two can kind of moderate each other a little bit. Now that doesn't mean have a cup of sugar a day or anything like that necessarily. There are people who they have their methods for losing weight and whatever with that, but on average probably not super ideal. I don't have anything any near that. I just have usually 2-3 teaspoons of honey, and I might have something that has a little extra sugar in it, like a yogurt that has a little sugar in it or something once in a while. But once in a while I'll have a sugar cane sweetened drink, but that's like once every week or two kind of thing usually. So now keep in mind, a lot of people think sugar is the thing that has the most insulin response, as in cane sugar, your table sugar. But as I just said, it's half glucose, half fructose. They have different responses in the body. It's the starch that's all glucose. Now, that doesn't mean, you can't have starch. Some people do great with it. But it does have more of an insulin response than sugars. And fruits have different amounts. They all have both fructose and glucose in them. Some of them are higher in fructose, like pomegranate, and some of them are lower in fructose. And so they have different amounts. Do I like to get whole fruits more than juices? Yes. Will I once in a while fill in with some juice? Yeah, sometimes. But mostly it's whole fruit sources. But anyway, my whole point to this is just, you know, all of them are going to have some insulin response and some, process through the liver and all that. But that can be moderated through, smart intake of your foods and through exercise, and can lead to really good results in weight loss for many people, including myself, as I have lost pretty much. I did have a time when I had, it was higher protein, higher fat, and I had very low energy, and I lost some weight on it at first, and then it's kind of stopped working as well. And whenever I had really high protein, even now when I have days when I've tried it with a little higher protein, I just don't lose weight well that way. It's just me. Some people are that way, and it's everybody. Some people do well that way, and they think everybody needs to do that well. That will do well that way, and it's not true. Neither do I. I'm not going to say everybody in the whole wide world is going to do better with a high carb diet, but many people will do better with a high carb diet if they also get exercise and they're careful about, mostly whole food sources of carbs. And sometimes some people have to be more careful with starches. I'm a person who needs to be more careful with starches right now. I'm introducing a little more over time as I lighten up. I'm hoping I can tolerate a little more. I don't eat them every day, but I'm working on trying to tolerate them better now. I tolerate them, I mean, I don't lose weight as well, but they do seem to it's not like I gain, but I don't seem to lose as well. And so since I'm trying to, lighten up and trying to get in Wonderland, and I have 14 pounds to Wonderland, I have been stuck at the same weight for 4 days. I had a big drop the first day, and I ate, more food, but trying to bump things up a little bit, and now I'm dropping a little bit, and I should see some good results. We will see. But anyway, I show you my struggles, I show you my successes, because I think that's the best way for people to understand that it's not all, a bed of roses for me. I have good times and not such good times. And I'm not all worried about 4 days at the same weight. It's just, it's going to need to drop, or I need to do something a little bit different after a while. But we'll see how this week goes. And all I can do is, try things, experiment, but, be fairly consistent. But I'm not going to be consistent if it's not working. I'm going to try something a little different, not anything extreme. Just changing up the macros I might have to do starting next week, but probably not. Probably just dropping calories a little bit will do the trick. So that's all I have to say. How I think for me, and I'm sure for many people, how high carb diets can work very well if you exercise with it. At least it works for me, and it has worked for other people who've talked about that as well. Have a great day, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.